argue with results by Nathan Comstock. Setting, a hospital, mid-21st century. A hallway at the medical facility. Franklin, a handsome man in his 30s, is sitting in a chair reading. There is an empty chair beside him. On the other side of the door, Daniel lies on a bed. Rose enters, holding a purse and fidgeting nervously. She spots Franklin and sits down next to him.
Franklin?
Franklin looks around, startled, then smiles.
Rose, you snuck up on me. It's good to see you. Can I have a hug?
Rose shrugs and nods. Franklin goes in for an enthusiastic hug, which is returned in a perfunctory manner. Rose looks around.
How long have you been here?
Here in this hallway? Only an hour or so. There was a lot of shuffling around, though. The ER, then another room when he was in surgery, then a recovery area, all full of people who were either scared, grieving, anxious, or relieved.
That must have been difficult.
It wasn't ideal.
You're okay, though?
Believe it or not, I'm getting better at tuning out strangers. I have to do hospital visits for work sometimes, too, and I need to be able to focus on whoever I'm there for.
I'm glad you've adapted.
Well, that's one way of putting it. Sarah's been amazing.
I'm glad you have her. Can we see him now?
He's sleeping now, I think. I told the doctor I'd just wait here for him to wake up, and she seemed okay with that. Just told us to try not to upset him.
I assume the doctor knows everything?
In that she's a human being who has read a newspaper, yeah, she's familiar with our family. I'm surprised.
You go first.
I'm glad you were able to make it. I know your research keeps you very busy.
The experiments we're running right now don't require me to actually be there, and I have accrued a lot of personal time I haven't used.
Right. He's been asking for you.
You said as much.
I know, I'm honestly just surprised you're here. I thought you two had burned that bridge completely.
What bridge?
Oh, sorry, I forget about you and metaphors. I guess it has been a while. I thought your relationship to him was irreparably damaged.
Oh, yes, it might be. But when you called while he was in surgery, the possibility of his death stirred up a lot of complicated feelings. I've been trying to analyze them. It was distracting. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that I needed closure, and my productivity would be compromised until it was obtained.
Right.
You're incredulous?
Hiding behind that hyper-rational, efficiency-maximizing persona might work on your science colleagues, but not on family. You can admit you want to see your dad before he dies. It's okay.
You continue to think of him as our father.
Because he is Rose, whatever else he might be.
When did you figure it out?
Figure what out?
That all parents didn't give their children tests every few months? That not all of the games were games?
3rd grade, at Tommy Lenahan's birthday party. The first time I really had the chance to observe a normal family.
I figured out that something was odd a lot sooner. I mean, I was a kid. When you're a kid, you trust your parents. But I remember one day, we must have been 5, 6. It was after one of the games that was so easy for me and so hard for you. Some spatial reasoning thing, mentally rotating a series of 3D objects or something. I don't remember the details. You were so sad that you hadn't been able to figure it out. Even I could see your frustration. And he just kept pushing you, and finally I said, he doesn't want to do it, he's not having fun. And I just stormed out. And you curled up in a ball and went unresponsive for hours.
I remember that day. I wanted so much to be good at it, because I could feel that it was important to Mom and Dad, and that I'd be good at it. And then you got so mad on my behalf, and all the feelings, their expectations, your anger, my own frustration, it got to be too much.
Mom came to find me and she told me she was sorry. She said the tests were important and that we were very brave and very strong kids. And that was when I knew we weren't normal, because brave and strong were words she used when we did something out of the ordinary, like go to the doctor, not something routine like brain games.
How very Rose of you.
Daniel rustles in the bed and sits up.
I think he's awake. I should go first. Prepare him, you know.
That would seem reasonable.
Franklin goes through the door and over to the bed. The lights come up on the hospital room. While they talk, Rose paces back and forth outside the door. fiddling with her purse.
Hi, Dad.
Frank, come in. Here to give me my last rites?
First off, Unitarians don't really do that. And secondly, the doctor told me your vitals were looking a lot better. You could have years left.
I'm fine. Is that your sister out there?
She flew down from Switzerland. I just wanted to make sure you were up to seeing her.
If my daughter wants to see me, then I'm definitely up for seeing her. Frank, Rose, come in.
Rose stops moving, composes herself, and enters.
Hello, Dr. Symes.
That's very formal, Dr. Symes.
Actually, it's Dr. Harrison now.
Congratulations.
I didn't get married. Our family name just carried a lot of associations, so I changed it. I didn't like bringing that many preconceptions with me into every interaction.
Oh. Yes, I suppose that makes sense. Did it work?
We'll both be dead by the time I know the answer to that.
Rose?
History, Franklin. I'd prefer to be remembered for what I did rather than what was done to me.
Rose.
Franklin, I came here to speak to Dr. Symes and try to get some closure. We established this. I'm not going to talk around anything to protect his feelings. That's what you do. You and your comforting lies.
I'm not going to engage with that right now. I respect that you need to do this, Rose. I just don't want you giving him another heart attack.
I'll be fine, Frank. Please don't talk about me like I'm not in the room. Come closer, both of you.
Franklin pulls the two chairs up to the bed, and they both sit down.
It's been a long time since all three of us have been together. It's not how I envisioned it going, but then life never does go the way you planned, does it?
I'd say you've done a fairly good job at controlling things normal people leave to chance.
Rose, please. The man almost died. Can you please just ease into the hostility?
It's all right, Frank. She wouldn't be our Rose if she didn't go straight to the heart of the matter. Speak your mind, daughter. I'm listening.
It's just the same question I've been asking over and over again. What are we? Your children or your life's work?
Don't all parents think of their children as their life's work?
It's not the same.
Why isn't it? Why is it different? We work to shape each of you into something greater than a normal person, greater than we were capable of being. Can you say that we failed?
I can't say you failed because I don't know what I would have been like if you just raised me and not messed with my head. I never got to meet that Rose. I don't know what she might have achieved.
So think about this Rose. She's solving problems for humanity that no one else could solve. We're going to colonize the stars because of her. I won't apologize for that accomplishment.
Anything I accomplish will be because I worked for it, not because you made me smart enough.
Well, I never expected you to be grateful. Hoped, maybe. Hoped that you'd understand, at least.
Well, I don't. I don't understand why you didn't think your children would be brilliant. Why you didn't think your children would be brilliant anyway.
And that wouldn't have been more arrogant? To think that I could produce the minds that could save the planet? That I was one natural generation away from the apex of human development? You don't know what it was like back then. Anyone with a shred of science knew that exceptional minds would be needed for us to survive as a species. I wasn't one of those minds, but I thought maybe I could make one. And I did. We did.
You made one.
Both of you. You know I meant both of you.
You don't have to lie to me, Father. I know I didn't turn out how you meant for me to. Truth be told, I don't care. I like the person I am.
And why shouldn't you? You've good job, wife, maybe a family on the way, and you're helping people. And honestly, if I have one regret in everything, it would be not being more adaptable early on. When you're both children, when we could see things not going quite according to plan, we could have thrown away the plan. Just let you show us who you were. But I was so sure we were going to save humanity. I think we were a little harsh.
A little harsh. That's an understatement. And anyway, that's your big regret, not the illegal experiments you went to prison for.
During the following exchange, Franklin becomes visibly increasingly overwhelmed.
I do not regret making you, either of you. If your mother and I had been allowed to conduct our work publicly, we'd have, well, the global conversation around our family would have been a lot different from what it ended up being.
What? What?
He means we'd be obsolete by now.
What are you talking about?
We're a promising start, but obviously we can't be said to be superior humans. I've got my emotional processing difficulties, you've got your hyper-empathetic meltdowns, not to mention the sensory issues. If humanity were to commit to a whole-scale project of genetic improvement, they'd want a few more drafts after us before really...
Rose, you're not making sense.
I'm making perfect sense. This is your plan carried out to its rational conclusion. Keep iterating until you've made a perfect human for whatever purpose, then just start mass-producing us. Anyone who considers the possibility can see the horrifying implications. Anyone except you and our mother, apparently.
And what about the implications of doing nothing? Let humanity just run its course and extinct itself? Sometimes the times call for a Hail Mary. That's what you want. That was the plan. One brilliant mind to solve the world's problems and one brilliant communicator to make sure someone listened to her. Did it work? Maybe not exactly like we planned it, but look at you. You're both exceptional people. I know your lives haven't been perfect, but some of that, much of that, is the dishonesty that was forced on us by the law and the stigma that you've had to bear since we were discovered. It's not fair to blame the work. You're both exceptional. You can't argue with results.
You said you can't argue with results, but you are literally arguing with us right now, with your results. Sorry, I just found it funny.
It was kind of funny.
Franklin stands up abruptly and walks over to the other side of the room.
Are we overwhelming you?
Franklin nods. Rose goes to him and offers him a hug, and he nods his head once. She embraces him, holding it for longer than their awkward hug at the beginning of the play. His breathing slows.
Maybe we should both go.
Please stay, Rose, for a little while. We don't even have to talk necessarily.
All right. I will see you tonight, Franklin.
Franklin nods.
Give your wife my best.
Franklin nods again, then goes to Daniel and leans into him.
I love you, Dad.
He exits.
He really means that.
That he loves me?
Yes.
Do you?
There isn't a simple answer to that. Love is an imprecise word. It's not useful for describing my feelings in a way that makes sense to me. I miss what we had sometimes. Before. It was not all bad. The possibility of losing you is unpleasant to me. But I'm also resentful of you. Resentful of you for my own existence. Doesn't make sense.
Daniel reaches over and takes Rose's hand.
Feelings don't have to make sense.
There is nothing ethereal or ephemeral about feelings. They're hormones and brain chemicals and neural impulses, real physical changes. There's no reason they should be harder for me than modeling 13-dimensional space. Answering the question of whether or not I love you should be easier than building an Alkubert drive.
Well, you have a team of people helping you with one of those.
I wish I could say that I love you. I wish I could call you father again. I wish that too, Rose. Your brother was being optimistic. I don't think I really have years left. I know. I mean, it's uncertain, but that's why I came.
I just want you to know I'm proud of you as a daughter.
Because I'm functioning the way I was designed to.
That's not... Because you're changing the world and moving in it. Maybe I didn't mess you up so badly after all.
It hasn't been easy for either of us.
I know. I was there for a lot of it, remember? I know you each had your struggles, but look where you are. Any father would be proud.
Our struggles? You're proud of us for rising above what you did to us? I just don't understand it.
Rose stares ahead for a few moments, then leans over and kisses him on the forehead.
I don't understand you, and I don't know if I love you, but I think I can forgive you, Father.
Thank you, Rose, for the comforting lie. coming from you, it's almost as good as the truth.
Rose smiles wanly, stands up and exits. End of play.